Hello, good afternoon, everyone from our ESP platform. Good afternoon, members of the public. Hope everyone is well and hope everyone is in now. Of course, nationally, I think everyone is excited, following up with the news, trying to find out what's happening with our premiership lah. I believe a lot of people are following up on that news. Yeah. So very good afternoon, Benkian, Patrick, Cynthia, Vishan. Thanks for joining us early. Very good afternoon to you. May I just remind everyone that came early on this platform, if you know your colleagues are joining in as well, or your team members are going to join in as well, do drop them a reminder over on WhatsApp or just tag them on the Facebook links. All right. So let me just run you all through some reminders of our social media platform. Yep. All right. So we have our Solidarity Beyond 2021, our YouTube channel. Most agents are asking me where to keep up with all the trainings if they missed out on any. So just a quick reminder to everyone, if you all missed out on the training, you all can log back onto our YouTube page. And whilst you're on it, please do like and share the page. All right. It's because of everyone's movement together, we can bring this program towards you all. And we hope that we have a strong solidarity movement from absolutely everyone. Hi, Sulastri. Thanks for joining us in as well. Hi, Chin. All right. And for your listings and your networking, if you want to network further with all the other agents over here, you want to share out your listings, we have our Solidarity Network group on WhatsApp. We also have our Facebook channel where you all can go in. We are up to close to 300 subscribers. Please do subscribe while you are on the channel. Please do like, please do comment as well. Okay. Just another quick reminder is for the trainer slides. All right. We do need our participants to pre-register themselves if they want to be forwarded the slides from the trainers from the admin side lah, okay? Because as your request from the admin, moving forward, we are going to pass it out to people who have registered, okay? So there's a registration scan code. Can we just bring up the registration scan code? Yeah, there's a registration scan code over here. Please do scan and register, yeah? Then we will follow up by giving the slides or the presentation deck by the speaker to you, okay? So moving forward, we will not be mentioning CBD properties, Esprit Estate or Profire property no longer. Carrying forward, we will move this movement of solidarity towards our new platform, namely ESP. Okay, that's why you can see on your top right, it is ESP live show. Okay, and just a last reminder, this training is open for the public. The whole intention of us coming together is to make sure we can provide enough technical knowledge on a daily process so that the negotiators can then go out and use this technical knowledge that they have gained to apply it practically in their professional practice. Okay, so some house rules to finish you all with before we move towards our speaker and topic of the day. Simple house rules is please try to keep the chat clean. When I say keep the chat clean, doesn't mean keep it empty. Continue with your comments and your constructive statements towards the speakers. Keep it constructive, keep it healthy, no vulgar languages, and no bombing of any promotional items, okay? So let's keep the chat constructive. Let's keep it straightforward. Let's keep it towards the topic of the day. Ask as many questions as possible because from asking is the best way of learning. So moving towards our topic of the day. So today we are lucky enough to have one of our leaders that have very vast experience in terms of sales because Mr. Jimmy came from an engineering background, graduated from the UK, Newcastle University. He came from an engineering background, so he's a very process-driven salesperson. And the first properties that he attempted to sell is actually not a Malaysian property. When he entered this industry, he straight away moved into international sales. So Mr. Jimmy has always been an avid property investor. One of his finest skill sets is readjusting people's qualification in purchasing a property, helping do consultation for debt servicing, and which is why I mentioned his process-driven concept of doing sale from all the way from solving the client's problem of not being able to obtain a loan to obtaining a loan, cashing out some money, and end of the day selecting the right property based on their investment gearing. So Mr. Jimmy has years of knowledge already. He heads out the international property sales previously at Australian Property Gallery and also Oriental Real Estate. Now we are lucky enough to have him on our ESP platform to give us some sharing on his topic of the day, which is different type of real estate investment strategies. So can we please have Mr. Jimmy up and test his mic? Hi, Jimmy.
Okay. Hi,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
clear. Yeah, all clear. So I leave it to you, Jimmy. We are all excited. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Mr. Jimmy a warm round of applause or a big emoticon, thumbs up, smiley face. Pass it over to you. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you, Kai, for your introduction. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is good and also been healthy lah. So hope you all take your jab as well. So today our topic, as you see lah, we are talking about investment strategy. I believe that most of us, when you do real estate, we come across a lot of investor. That's why this is a very important topic for you to learn, to understand how you give people expectation, how you calculate the return on investment, and how you invest on it. Okay, without further delay, maybe I can share my screen. As what Kai mentioned, I was in the engineering background. Engineering is always giving solution to people, and we do a lot of calculation. So in fact, I applied the same thing to property. Property is always this is always giving people a solution, like investment, help people to build passive income, how to help people to build their wealth through property investment. And also we do a lot of calculation. My interest, my expertise is always going to investment, how to calculate the return and how do you determine the risk, the tolerance. Okay, go to my slide. Okay, so a bit of background myself. I was also invited to be a speaker in this group of Thailand investor. I also invited in the Star Property as one of panel speaker. I was also been a speaker about property investment in China and Indonesia as well. And then we do also our property private gallery sharing as well. Okay, besides that, I also bring, like I said, we bring property tour, those investors to overseas, especially Australia. So 1 year I travel, before MCO, I travel 3 times a year, and I also travel quite frequent to Indonesia also to promote the property. And also we do a lot of event roadshow together with Kai and the team. So we promote a lot of project in offshore as well. Okay, just like to share with you, we also did a lot of, due to this MCO, we did a lot of online event together with the Kentroprop team. So we are actually working as a teamwork. So we are actually, the good thing is we are using our social media to reach out more people, and we work together as a team. So Kentroprop is actually one of the sub-team in Profair. I mean, to search our Instagram, our Facebook. In fact, now we are exploring, we are actually venture to Clubhouse as well. So we are continue to give more sharing in this social media. Okay, I'd like to share with you, start with you with a quote. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. This quote is by Ratan Tata. So it's very meaningful. So whatever thing you do, right, you need to do in the teamwork in order to grow your business. So in this what we call real estate, it's a business. So you need a teamwork, especially now pandemic. We need to support each other and grow our business. Okay, just like to ask the audience, maybe this training is a bit interactive. Ask you all, do you think now is a crisis or opportunity? You think it's crisis, please type C. Opportunity, please type O. So a bit interactive. So we have 52 people here. So I'm expecting half of them to feedback to me. Anyone? Yeah, opportunity. All right. Yeah, actually, there's no right and wrong. Now it's also crisis, but of course, opportunity. It depends how you look at it. So that's why our topic today is very important that in terms of investment, our topic is different type investment strategy at different point in time. But of course, in investment property is a business. So you must treat it as a business. Your property is a tool for you to make your wealth, make your income. So during different timing, you need to find a different strategy to invest as well. Okay. So just like to ask a simple question, do you think that invest in property or invest in business, which one is riskier? Can you all let me know? Anyone want to feedback? Anyone? Business is scarier. Okay. Actually, investment in yeah. Actually, to be honest, invest in property or invest in business is always as a risk. It depends what is a risk tolerance. It depends how do you look into it. But of course, if you look into property, it's always like it's manageable. But of course, certain point of time, some property at this point of time not performing. Like some property in Chowkit Road, in the Chinatown in Malaysia, in also this Malacca Jonker Street, some of the tourism spot are actually affected and some hotel. But of course, some other property sector, like those are doing industrial, doing warehouse logistic, they are booming. So it's always need to see on the risk tolerance. So of course, you must let your client know is that not everything is perfect. But of course, business, you need to manage it. So for property, one thing good is it's a long-term game and it's actually manageable. You can even invest without any capital. So it depends how you manage it. Okay. So today agenda is very simple. I just like to share what type of property to invest, and then the return on investment, long-term versus short-term in the property. Okay, like this Warren Buffett say, this is a very important statement. If you don't find a way to make money while you are sleeping, you will work until you die. What does that mean? Yeah, that means people need to find a way to make a passive income. So if you don't find a way to make passive income, you need to work forever and ever. So of course, during pandemic, some people now they don't rely on one income source; they rely on a few income source. But of course, some they do e-commerce or other business. But for me, property is always the main thing because property is always very secure because it's an asset in long term, and also it can carry forward to my next generation as well. So this is very important. Okay. So I always like to follow this Robert Kiyosaki. Anyone know this Robert Kiyosaki? If you think you know him, please type 1. Anyone? Okay, thank you. So just share a bit story about Robert Kiyosaki. He actually he have two dad. The actual dad is poor dad. Of course, he learned from this rich dad. So just want to ask the audience, those, I mean, before your age 18 years old, your father, mother, your parents, do they teach you how to do investment, and then also some about financial literacy or not? If you let's say your parents have teach you before type 1, you never teach you before type 2. No, yeah, correct. Actually, your parents they teach you study hard and find a good job and find a good wife and get married, but they never teach you how to build your passive income. That's why most of us, we are actually, when I come out, of course, some of us are lucky. They born their father, their business, that they just straight away come to B. Most of us, majority, right, we are actually under category E and S. So this is what we are now. But of course, our objective is you must become an investor. How you make your money work for you. This is very important. That's why this Robert Kiyosaki make this concept that ESPI is very clear, so you know the strategy, how you move towards, how you make your money work harder to you. So it's all about mindset, strategy, and also the risk tolerance, how you move forward to do an investment. So it's actually the keyword is leveraging. So to become a successful property investor, right, you need to know how to leverage on the bank, leverage on the people who manage the property, leverage on agent, leverage on lawyer, leverage on the mortgage. So these are the expertise to bring you to next level as an investor. Because if you keep working using your time to make money, it take long time to earn money. So imagine you want to earn 500,000. You work in salary with a 3,000 salary. How long it takes for you to earn this 500,000? It takes time. So actually, property in long run is actually make you this wealth, prove your wealth faster. Okay, so of course I'd like to share with you. In Profare, we actually coming out a rating system, which is very valuable, especially for the investor. So I find this is a very powerful tool which is not in the market, and how you evaluate a property. Because for me, I've been investing property since I was age 26. So I have been investing a different way, even short term and long term, and even offshore property I also invested before. So the thing is, you must look into a few factors. So example, like how, of course, some of the sub-sale you look into below market value, and some of the property you need to see the return on investment. How you look at it is you need to survey the current market. What is the demand of what's the rental offer in the market, so you calculate the return investment. And also the occupancy rate is very important. The occupancy rate is you need to see the population at that area. So we recently share some of the project near to this Tesco, because Tesco, whenever Tesco open, right, they need to have at least, they've done a survey, must have at least 150,000 population at that area, then they only open. So it's also a way to justify this place, is it suitable, is it good project to invest. And also to upkeep the property, the costing, how much to upkeep. And also another thing is the maintenance fees, your ongoing maintenance fee. That you buy condo, you need to pay maintenance fee as well. And also potential capital gain. You buy a property, what was the track record, how much gain a year, so that you're able to know, justify, estimate how you calculate your future return investment. Okay, so of course the infrastructure, because I do invest a lot of property, I make some money due to this infrastructure. Example, just a very good example, Kesas Highway. Before Kesas Highway come in, right, places like Sri Petaling, Bukit Jalil, Puchong, these are the places, even Sunway, the property value wasn't up. Once the Kesas Highway come in, right, all these places been booming. So a lot of good factor they've been making money from it as well. So now also we have some project near the Dash Highway. So this is one of the main booster, and also some project near the LRT station as well. Okay, so to invest property, you always need to know what's your objective. Like what Stephen R. Covey said, begin end in mind. Before you invest, you need to know your resources, your current resources, how you're going to invest, and what is your objective, how much you want to make. So some people, they have a lower salary. Of course, you can invest a lower investment, but you need to see, you need to know in future, let's say in 5 years' time, I want to have a passive income with maybe 20,000, and then with the cash flow in hand, 500,000. So you need to plan yourself ahead so that you're able to reach your goal. So of course, different people have different objectives. Some they want to earn fast, so they are actually they do a lot of short-term investment. They buy lelong property, they renovate and they sell in the market. But of course, to do this, you need to have heavy capital. So there's different ways, different strategy to do it. Okay, there are different types of property in the market. The first type is actually like it's a land. You can invest in land or bungalow land. This is where the developer, they buy land. At this point in time, right, the crisis, some of the big players, they actually acquire a lot of land. They increase the land bank because now it's a bargain. Some owner, they are suffering due to this pandemic because they need cash flow, so they sell the land. So they acquire land, so they keep it for future to build. Okay, and then some of the investors, they buy bungalow land, they build a house, and they sell. Of course, this is the second one is the primary project. This is where my expertise are. Actually, I invest a lot in primary project. I make some money on it. Actually, it's a very good way to make money. Of course, some people say primary project is more expensive than the sub-sale. This is a fact. It's a 20%. But in the primary project, they throw in a lot of offer, and you actually can leverage maximum on the loan. So you see now we also have some project in the market called cashback project. You just put a booking, you get a loan, you get extra cash in hand. At the same time, your property, you can rent it out. So it's very different way, different ballgame to play. Because I remember last time I went to an iProperty fair. I make a booking of one property in Tutamas. The time was 200 over thousand. So I booked 3 units, but 2 loan get through. But somehow got one property I could get 2 loan get through. But the time I still need to pay progressive interest, but they will give a 10% discount. So I when the property hand over the time, I let go one of property. I immediately make 180,000 after like 1 year after I got the key lah. So after that, of course my costing, I need to do renovation, a lot of things, so it cost me about 30,000. So your return investment like 3 years, you are making like 150K per year. You are making 50,000 of passive income. But first property, you make money with where you sell. So of course some property you can hold longer a bit, depends on timing where you sell. Of course, the next part is the sub sale. Sub sale is actually also another interesting way to make money, because now property market cycle is down. It's time to enter. So some people are fearful that want cash flow, they let go below market value. And of course, when you buy a normal sub sale, they actually, some of them, the normal process is to pay the 10%. So in order to pay, but some you can make a special deal without paying this 10%, but still need to pay the the legal fees and also MOT, these kind of fees. Okay, so the other kind of investment which is called REITs. You can invest in the REITs or invest in this management. Some people that do in this real estate business, like subletting, co-working space, Airbnb. So there's a different kind way to invest. Okay, so in this sharing, I also talk about short term and long term. So short term is just like George Soros way. They always speculate market and they trade. Then short term they make money. So in long term, which is called value investment, like what Warren Buffett they do. So he always look into certain potential, like long term, 20 years, 30 years, then they let go. So it's different kind of way, kind of objective, and different way to make money as well. Okay, talking about property investment, right? This is based on a NAPIC record, right? This is actually the property trend is always going up. So why I say that is because you see property, let's say in terms of location, talking about that's what I mentioned. Let's say example Street Petaling. Before the Casas Highway was built, the time the place was not a very happening place, even Oakland Road. So of course over the time, property keep going up. Okay, why property price is going up? Because of the new launch property, the sell prices higher. Another factor is our land price is getting higher and higher, and also our population is growing bigger and bigger. So actually, there's another main factor of this is because the material, our raw material is they gone up very fast, because especially like this pandemic, right? Our material, especially metal and some of the other material, like for building material, have gone very high, because material will contribute at least 30% to 40% of the construction cost. So when the material go up, that's why these are the factors that when they sell, the price must sell higher, the developer must sell higher, they can sell lower. So that in order for them to drive the property price, and also they need to make the margin. So this is very, very important. But of course, now the property cycle up and down is also depend on the demand and supply. Okay, so I like to differentiate a few kind of investment. For example, condominium. Some of them they sell new launch or they sell sub sale. Of course, condominium, the rental yield is higher, and then of course the capital gain is not as fast as a landed house. Lower capital gain, it takes time, maybe 1 year, about 3 to 6%, depends on location. So of course the maintenance cost, you need to pay the maintenance fees and the sinking fund. It's a yearly monthly cost, and then also they actually low initial cash outlay, because you buy condominium is actually it's a residential. You can get 90% loan for the first 2 home buyer. So you just put in the 10%, or even you buy a new launch project, they give a rebate. You literally pay nothing. You pay very minimum. Of course, you need to have a renovation to renovate in order to get rental out. So the other kind of investment, which is landed house, you get landed house, normally you get very fast capital gain, especially like example Setia Alam. Setia Alam, when I think 20 years back, when they launched the first phase, it's only 100,000, and now the latest phase is all like 800,000, 900,000. So of course the capital gain is very, very fast. So of course, like I said, the rental yield is low. Like what I mentioned, Setia Alam, the rental houses are 1,300, but the houses cost you 800,000. The ROI, the rental yield is much lower. Maintenance cost, of course, landed house, they need to pay very minimum the gut fee. Other than that, they don't need to pay for facilities. Then the low initial cash outlay, because if you buy landed house, you just need to pay 90. You borrow 90%, you just pay the 10%, and also of course the renovation required lah. Let's say your house you want to convert to you need to build at least your kitchen cabinet, and then your window, your curtain. Some property like example Subang, they do room rental. They need to spend a bit more. They add more rooms. Of course, the renovation costing will be higher. Okay. Okay. The third one is actually the what you call that? This is the commercial. Commercial. Let's say you invest in the right place, but of course now commercial due to pandemic, a lot of places are affected. Some places like example Bangsar South. So you are actually getting high capital gain when you buy at the right time. Of course, the rental yield is high because they have a lot of demand, especially the startup company, and also some foreign startup company come to Malaysia to set up. Those are with MSC status. And then, of course, the maintenance fees. Normally, the maintenance fee is paid by your tenant. So your tenant will pay for it, or depends on case to case. Some they request owner to pay. So, of course, the initial outlay, cash outlay is higher because you buy commercial, right? You only allowed to borrow up to 85% loan. So it depends. Normally it's 80 to 85. So you need to come out like 20% or 15%. And then there's no renovation required. There's an advantage over this commercial. Because commercial, the tenant will renovate. And then the good thing is, another thing is the tenant is normally they rent for long term. So you compare to house residential, they will rent year to year. For commercial like office or shop lot, right, they rent for years. So they sign 5 years contract, 10 years contract. So your income is much more manageable. Okay. So another thing is in the market, some of them they do this is what you call that? They do room rental. This is one example project, Nadayu 1801. So what they do is you can rent as per room. You know, when you buy a lot of condominium, they come with 3 bed, 2 bath. So this one you have more toilets. So normally you buy a property, come with a toilet in the room, your rental can fetch higher. That's why we call it ROI booster. So you buy a property like 400,000, but you get a rental at 200,000. So your return investment you can fetch 5 to 6% in terms of a return for property is considered very, very good. Okay. So the next thing is I like to talk about numbers calculation. Yeah. So you talking about investment is always calculative. You need to know how much your return you're getting. So like typical people when they do investment, so they need to calculate what is the cost over the investment net gain. Okay. Example, you purchase a property at 500,000. Okay. Then your rental per month is 2,500. So 1 year is 30,000. Okay. Then what is your ROI? Your ROI, I hope you all know what is ROI. ROI stands for return of investment. Okay. So your ROI is 30,000 over 5,000 and you get 6% return. Okay. So there's another way of do calculation is I always use this, which is called cash on cash return. Cash on cash return is what we meant is what is your initial cash outlay you put in and what is the annual cash flow, positive cash flow coming in. So this is what is cash on cash return. This is actually, I find it quite important because especially you convince those clients they want to have a comparison investment business versus property. So you can give him the idea how you compare it and how you make it a good return for him. So example, property purchase price is 500,000. Your 10% is your initial deposit, 50,000. Then your purchasing fee plus renovation. You buy, let's say example, a landed house, you do some renovation, cost you 25%. Okay, so your initial cash outlay is 50,000 plus 25,000, so you get 75,000. Okay, so your installment, let's say example 1,500 It's just an example. So your monthly rental is 2,500. You get a cash flow of 1,000 ringgit. Okay, so you calculate by per year, profit is 12,000 ringgit positive cash flow. So after you do a calculation based on the cash on cash return, your ROI against your cash outlay, your return is 16%. That means whatever cash you put in, you earn positive cash flow is 16%. So I hope you all got it. So far, so good. So far, you all understand. Please type 1. Hope you all with me. Okay, let's move on. So I like to share with you more. So I know market, a lot of them, they talk about cashback property, but some agent, they don't know, some customer, they don't know what is cashback. Cashback is always, they buy the property. Let's say example, the property value price is 750,000. But you get, let's say you talk to the owner said, I'm willing to let go below market value, which is 552,500. Then you can get this amount below market value, but you sign your SPA price at 750,000. You get a loan based on this SPA price with 90% loan, which is higher than your purchase agreed value. So, but of course, the loan you need to pay the installment, which is 3,200 a month. If you based on the loan amount, but you got a cashback amount without putting up a 10%, because your 10%, 75,000 actually is more than your rebate value. So literally you get actually 25%, 15% of the cashback of this value. So you get 112,000 on hand, because this amount is actually you are borrowing from a bank loan. But of course, some people say, why you need this cash forward? So actually, it's a lot. It's quite depends what you need lah. Because investor need to have objective. For me, I always like to invest this kind of property because if actually give me, I will do a reinvestment on other things so that I can make more passive income. That's why you need to understand, like what Robert Kiyosaki said, you need to make your money work harder for you. I always use leverage on my money, how we maximize to make a good passive income for me. Okay. So the good thing is you get a no money down and instant cash flow. Okay. So talking about cash flow analysis. So example, you get the property you buy already, you get rental 2,700 a month. Of course, just I mentioned the installment 3,200, and then minus off your rental income, because most of property outside market, right? They are not really positive cash flow, they are negative, but of course you cover at least 70% is good enough. Okay, so you get a negative cash flow of 500 a month. So you got your cash out amount 112,500, and if you calculate as a buffer, so how much money you can sustain on this amount, you actually have 225 months for you to hold, even you're getting negative cash flow. So you actually have 18.75 years. So normally it depends on the investor. For me is I will start to look into the market to let go of property after 5 years, between 5 to 10 years, so to cash out some money. So you see, even your property have negative cash flow, but you got cash back, right? So you actually can hold a longer period for you. Okay, the next part is I talk about the property cash flow, like just I mentioned. Per month is your negative cash flow is 500 ringgit. Per year is 6,000, and you calculate after 5 years, your investment is 30,000. Okay, let's say I calculate the property that I mentioned, the 750,000. I sell after 5 years. So your calculate your 5 years commitment, just I mentioned, is 30,000. Let's say example, per year your that property you make maybe not to say very high gain, 3% per year. But some people say they can make double up in 10 years. Maybe I don't be so greedy, conservative a bit. I calculate as 3% a year. So you make 22,500 a year. So after 5 years, you are making this gain of 112,500. But of course, your property, you still got rental income. So you keep paying your principal. You still left if you do a calculation, you borrow loan at 90%. After 5 years, your balance principal is actually about this 600,000. Of course, you gain your equity. First thing you gain from your balance principal you pay from a bank, you still got 150,000, and you make gain if you sell, plus 150,000 plus your property gain. Total, you gain 262,500. So you see, if you look at these numbers, what is your return investment, ROI? You put the 30,000, this one you put in there, divide against this 262,500. So your ROI is 875%. So you see, you compare to business, do you think, I don't know, maybe some business can. I think most of business, they cannot gain so much of return of investment for this. Yeah, I think Cynthia have a question about initial outgoing stamp duty. Yes, it is, because my calculation is based on gross. Of course, there's obviously there's a lot of stamp duty calculation on it. But of course now, like the good thing is buying the project, they have a HOC plan. The HOC plan, they cover the MOT, the legal fee. You save a lot of money. Okay. So just like I asked you, let's say this return investment, right? You calculate 262,000, you divide by, you minus off the 30,000. Yearly, you're making about 40,000 return. This is really, you do nothing, passive income, puta. After 5 years, sell, you cash out. Is this a good return or not? 40,000 is equivalent like a salary of 3,000 plus a month. Is this good? You think it's good? Please type 1. Anyone? Yes, correct. Yeah, actually, it's a very good return investment. But don't forget, just like I mentioned, this property have a cashback below market value. Your return is actually infinity. Remember, you still got 112,500 cashback. If you minus off your cost 30,000, you still got positive cash flow in hand. You see, buying property, this is the method that people are going new launch without any capital outlay, and you are making such a good positive cash flow money. So it's all about leveraging. That's why I said to leverage is very, very important. Yeah. So you see, leveraging, there's a lot of way to do it. Even as a developer, they also leverage. They buy land, they get bank loan. They don't use their own pocket money. And also, like some of the advanced property investor, they leverage on bank loan. A lot of people, like some people think that I borrow so much loan, I got a lot of risk. It actually depends how you manage the risk. And it's actually when the property boom up, right now is a crisis. A lot of property like at a certain value, and in fact, like you buy this a new launch property, you get cashback. I remember when I invest 2008, the time, right? The time a lot of them they offer DIBS, which we call developer bond interest, but you still need to put certain percentage, maybe 5% rebate. You still put in 5%. So the time, right? The property, a lot of people they make money actually when they sell. Once you get a key, they sell. But of course now even better, they have cashback. They don't need to invest and they get the cash in hands or more. So this is a very good deal to invest a property. But of course, some people they may not accept this cashback, but they go for value investment. They can put in capital. It's up to them. They have a different way, the strategy to invest. Okay, so I like to share with you. Some investor actually how they multiply their property, even they have a salary of 5,000. So this is just an example. But of course, I done it myself with my own way. I've planned myself well to multiply my property. So in example, you have a 5,000 5K salary a month, you as an employee. Usually you can qualify to buy up to 800,000 loan. If you're age 40 and below, if you calculate as a 30 years loan. So every single dollar you can borrow, right, you multiply by 200. It's a factor of 200. Okay. So let's say example, you buy property, you get installment from a bank loan is 2,005, and your rental income is 3,000. It depends. Some property you can get quite high rental, especially Subang area. You do room rental, you're getting quite high return. And some places like even houses or condominium, you can, if you add additional room, they can fetch high return. Okay. After 6 to 8 months, you can enter another property, which is amount of 5,000. Why you can do that is because you got the rental income of 3,000 ringgit. You actually add up to your income portfolio of 5,000 ringgit, which is you get 8,000 ringgit. So that's how the banks see your income. So that's why when you get any client of you buy a property or yourself invest property, make sure your rental, you need to do stamping. Because bank need to see your document, your bank statement, your stamping, your return from this rental. It's actually your rental here, right? It offset your installment. So actually it becomes zero. You can free up your DSR. So your DSR, you can go for another property again. So you do the same cycle, you get the same rental. Then after that, another 6 to 8 months, you can buy another property. You keep rotating the same process. So this is a good way to set a goal for your investor so that you're able to sell to them over and over again, and your sell also can be invest over and over again. Okay, so you see, this is a good thing. You only have 5,000 salary with a net income 5,000 salary, but of course you able to own a property in 3 to 4 properties in 2 years worth 2 million. But of course, depends on some people are very greedy. They may go for 2 property at the third stage. So you can own a lot. But of course, don't remember yourself. When you buy property, every year there's a gain. So you'll be worth maybe more than that. So this is a good way to invest property, and actually you can grow your wealth very strong. So you just imagine, right? Because you are only 5,000 salary, 1 year you only can make 60,000. So you got a property, right? Let's say one property is 3,000 ringgit, 2 properties another 3,000, 6,000. Then the third property you're making like 9,000 ringgit. So if you multiply 1 year, right, it's actually making you more than 100K. You know? This is the passive income, and the tenant is paying your installment, offset your installment. So literally you're like getting a property free. You know? So is this good? Maybe I can ask the audience, is it a good investment plan compared to doing business? If you think good, please type good. Yeah, thank you for feedback. Yeah, this is that's why there's a lot of market. Those are advanced investors, they invest a lot of property. That's how they do it. In fact, of course, some property they have invested more than third property, then they get the residential 70% loan. Then after that, they go for commercial, they get 85%. Of course, some project they can get the rebate. And of course, some of them, when they reach certain level, they will form an investment holding company. But first, IHC company is a bit tricky. They build the portfolio along. So in terms of property, it's actually quite interesting. It's a business, it's a way to do it. It's actually, you can see, it's manageable. You can grow a long term. But of course, one thing, the thing is you must learn how to leverage on bank. But one thing, the bank is always over the years compared to when I buy property, right? It's getting more and more challenged to borrow loan from bank. They're now setting up more and more requirement. But first of all, you must understand the requirement. That's why you can ask me or ask your banker friend to understand the policy. Always do a self-check yourself whether are you eligible to borrow loan in order to go for the investment. Okay, the other part is talking about short term. Short term is very straightforward. I think I believe in Profit, we also doing this Dragon Fund. We're doing for short term, and then in fact I've done short term before. I invested this Lelong property. I do a lot of short term investment by flipping. Okay, so example, you go to the market, you buy those houses, even sub-sale or Lelong, but sub-sale is actually can get quite a fair can get quite a good deal also. So let's say you buy a property before that 200,000. After that you renovate and you sell 300,000. You need to spend your costing is your stamp duty, legal fee, renovation cost. Because last time I remember when I bought a Lelong property in Cheras Ulik, right? I bought the property actually a landed house. The house is actually facing the junction. It's not very nice feng shui. So the time I bought it was very cheap. Lelong price 250,000. Then after that, I spent very minimum renovation because that year I have friends doing who is a contractor. So he gave me a very good deal. He done up the whole house less than 10,000. So after that, I sell at 330,000 in just 7 months, just that short term period. And the time Lelong property wasn't very popular because that property also facing the junction, so not very nice. In fact, now that property worth I think more than 800,000. So you see, this is a very interesting way to do flipping. Yeah. So you see how you calculate as a flipping. So let's say example, you purchase property 300,000, then your purchase cost is 10,000 because you need to pay the legal fee, all the MOT, everything. So another thing, you need to throw in the renovation cost. Let's say the house is really bad condition, you need to throw in more to renovate, and then you sell at 500,000. Okay, this is literally your bargain a property price, which is really below market value. But you must do your study, due diligence first. What's the market price and how much you can fetch, and then the best part is you must check with the valuer. Yeah. So you will make your profit. That's why when you sell at this price, you minus off your cost, you will make a profit is 140K. Okay, what is your return on investment? Let's say you plan like within a year, so you sell the time, right? What's your cost of this return investment, which is you buy your purchase cost is 300,000 against your ROI 140K, so you're making 46.7%. So between this short period of time, 1 year, you make 140K. So for flipping, there's also advantage also. Okay, let's say you calculate as a cash on cash return. How you do it is, let's say the same amount of property price, 300,000, you need to pay the 10% deposit, 30,000. Then your purchasing fee, all your cost is 10,000. Your renovation cost is 50,000. Same thing like what I mentioned just now. Your initial cash outlay, what you need to throw in the money is 90,000, which is quite heavy. You compare to a buying 300,000 property, you need to come out like almost like 33%. So you get 90% loan. Okay. Then after that, you do flipping, you sell at 500,000, you find the right buyer, you sell it off, then you make 140K, like just what I mentioned. So you see, if you calculate cash on cash return, right, your return on investment 140K against your 90,000, you're actually making 155%, 155.6, which is quite good in terms of what you come in and get out. So you see, this is another way to calculate, because I always use this method to calculate to make to show that the investor actually what you put in the cash, we try to transparent to put in the amount, then the return is higher. In fact, some investors, they want to do like cash investment. I always use this calculation to show them. Sometimes you leverage on loan is much better compared to buying cash. This is how you let them know lah. Because some cash buyer, they buy like a 500,000, buy cash 500,000. Actually, why not you use a 500,000 to buy 3 properties? You get 3 times the return. So it's a different ballgame to play lah. So in fact, as a real estate agent, you can sell 3 properties as well. Yeah. So I think there's other investment strategy lah. There's also like example, interest only loan investment. So we have interest only loan. Example, we have House Key in Residence South. They actually let's say the buyer, they only can pay they're allowed to pay the interest for first 5 years after they got the key. So now during construction, it take 2 years. You add another 5 years, 7 years you are paying interest. But at the same time, you earn the gain. Okay, this one are using on interest only loan investment in Australia property. Australia actually the time I can borrow loan from Singapore, because Singapore the interest rate is only 2%. So every month I'm getting positive cash flow of 700 Aussie dollar because of interest only loan investment. So another way is called lease option. This one is more advanced, but I wouldn't explain this because I'm not the expertise on this. I believe some of the people doing in the market. For example, you got a tenant staying in your property. You want to sell to him, so you sign a contract with him, the future price. So whatever rental you pay now, you are actually part of the purchase. Then after that, you sell at a certain amount. Okay. So like my presentation is up to here. I'd like to share with you the last quote. Like what Robert Kiyosaki said, don't work for money. Make it work for you. Make your money work for you harder. This is very important point. So for him, right, like I mentioned, during the 2008 crisis, right, he actually leveraged on bank loan, almost like 300 million USD. But he made the equity gain, right, with 80 million. So he just leveraged on bank and make such a huge money. But the good thing is he doesn't need to pay tax because he got a lot of debts. So how you leverage on it. Yeah. Okay. So I like to thank you so much for my time, and hope you all enjoy my sharing, and I hope that I can help you along with this my sharing, investment sharing. So I know it's a bit boring to look at numbers, but it's very important. You know, when I sell Australian property or overseas property, right, we don't have any physical unit to show. We don't have anything we call that. We only can show our brochure, and with the iPad, with Google Earth, and the piece of paper to show the numbers, how to invest. This is how we close deal. 1 year, we can close up to 40, 50 Australian property, overseas property. Same thing what we apply now during pandemic, what we do in Zoom, we share with them using numbers. It's very powerful. Okay, so I'd like to pass back to you, Kai.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Very informative. Thanks for sharing. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have clients maybe with their debt issues and they still want to buy a property, still looking to get one as well, and you're unsure of how to tackle this situation, I think Jimmy will be the best person to co-broke with. Recently, during this more struggling time crisis, he take it as opportunity. He has helped his clients refinance flip their profile from a bad profile to a qualifying profile. So leverage on your team members, leverage on the leaders that we have as well. Jimmy's contact is over there, 017-333-1779. Yes, please do contact him if you have clients that have these problems as well. As you can see, his briefing was very good, very insightful. So Jimmy, on behalf of everyone in ESP and every member of the public, thank you so much for making your time for us. We have learned a lot from this session. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, there will be the feedback screen. Can we please put up the feedback screen? Yep, just before you all leave, if you all don't mind, you all have the time, please leave us some feedback. We will continuously bring in more speakers and bring in more programs based on the feedbacks that you give. So ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. in solidarity. Stay home, stay safe, stay updated with the news. Let's see what's going to happen to our country. Let's see who's our new leader. See you guys, everyone. Jimmy Chong, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. See you.